Hi, my name is Cheryn Salazar. I have a condition called Trichotillomania, which is compulsive hair pulling. I began pulling out my eyelashes and eyebrows in 1972 when I was 12 years old. And for many, many years, I felt like I was the only one and was very ostracized and criticized and had the lowest self-esteem of anybody I know. And it just was something that was very, very difficult to live with. It wasn't until 1983, I believe, that I had read an Ann Landers article in a newspaper of a mother writing in about her daughter who pulled her eyelashes and eyebrows, and I was just devastated because I thought, oh my gosh, people that read this newspaper are going to know that this is what I do, and then I was also curious, well, what's her answer? Because I had just thrown those pages closed when I read the article without even looking at the answer. And Ann Landers gave it a name, so it was Trichotillomania, and that it affected, I think she said about 1 million people. And I don't know where even she got that number because there were no studies done back then, but not bad guess, because it is about 3 to 6% of our population, which is about 6 to 8 million in America. So that was good. I did feel at least it had a name, but I still felt extremely alone. So that to me maybe meant 10 people had it. I just was hard to believe that 1 million people had it. I always kind of looked to see if anybody had missing eyelashes or eyebrows or head hair, and I just never saw that. So I just just definitely felt alone and ashamed. In 1990, I met the first person with trichotillomania. That's a wonderful story. I want to share it with you. I first want to say that probably for about 3 years at that point, I had been sharing my big secret with my friends because I knew that I couldn't have relationships with people if I would keep them at arm's length away emotionally and physically. And I needed to be able to let them know this about myself so I could go on and feel comfortable around them. Because up till then I'd be like shifty-eyed and kind of dodging the head back and forth so that, as if they would not notice my eyelashes that way or my eyebrows, lack of them. And so I had shared with a girlfriend of mine, Renee. And Renee had gone to an AA meeting and had heard a woman named Christina Pearson sharing at group level her story about how if she didn't share about how she pulled her hair out, that she would want to perhaps drink again. So she was, really putting it out there. And Christina's share has been open about her recovery, and I have permission in sharing that about her. But Renee came back and said, hey, I gave her your number, and here's hers. And it was amazing, that phone call, of actually meeting somebody else that had this condition and understood the ins and outs of how I felt inside and outside. So we arranged to get together and couldn't seem to meet up. And so she goes, listen, I've got this paperwork, a little bit, not much, but it was from the OCD Foundation. And, it's got a name, the Trichotillomania, and a little bit of information. Can I mail it to you? And when I told her my address, which was out in the Santa Cruz Mountains of California, and that she was 2 doors away from me, she just screamed. I screamed. It was 10 p.m. at night. We ran out in our pajamas and hugged and embraced, and it was like meeting a long-lost twin. I mean, there was that connection, but we'd never met before. It was very interesting and wonderful. Came back to my place, showed each other, she showed me her patches and let me touch her head, which she'd never let anybody do. I took off all my makeup, which I'd never let anybody see me alone. I felt like a monster without it, quite literally. I was very ashamed. And we talked about our desire to reach out and find out who else out there has this, and talked about a center, which is now the Trichotillomania Learning Center, writing books. I've written 2. She's writing a book right now. And just, started the first support group, and we've been close friends, like sisters ever since then, and have been very busy and active in getting more and more information out and exposure. We've done some TV stuff, talk shows and whatever, and it's just been really exciting. What's been most exciting, I think, is to see how we've changed inside as once we, started to open up about this with others, and meeting the most fabulous people, smart, brilliant, and just sweet, kind, and just getting to connect with others and realize this is just like, this is a condition that, it's not who I am, it's what I do, and everybody does something. And I really feel it is similar to skin picking, nail biting, overeating. It just calms the nervous system. It's what our brain says to do. It's in our DNA. I mean, now that there's been studies, thanks to the Trichotillomania Learning Center, we now understand what this is, why we have it and everything, and it's become normalized much more than it ever has been. And I know inside my heart, I don't feel ashamed at all anymore. I feel free, and I love myself, which I could never say that before. It has really been the tool to teach me who I really am. It's not about how I look, it's about who I am inside. And with our society being so judgmental, it's easy to get caught into that, going, something's wrong with me and I'm not good enough. And no, I think people that have struggled, that have handicaps, have depth about them because they've learned to look inside and find their true beauty and worth, are the most fabulous people. And since that wonderful meeting 20 years ago, we have, the center has yearly retreats and conferences, several conferences a year. It has a wonderful newsletter and, and support groups and all this wonderful resources on their website at trick.org. Now there's the social network that I put together called trickworld.com, and been able to do, just lots of things, being able to reach out and let other people know they're not alone. So that's what this video is all about, and I just hope that you are able to just learn where your value is, and that you're not alone. We're talking, this affects many, many people as young as 4 months old. Men, women, children. Old Testament it's written about in 2 cases there. So truly, now this is a good time of, being able to not walk this journey alone. And I just hope that you make the connections with people and call me, call the Trichotillomania Learning Center, and reach out, and we'll reach back to you. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.